Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 111, Mohn and Lillie, a reunion in the snow. This was the 1196th episode of the Pokémon anime, and the first one to finally take place in the Crown Tundra. We've got a lot to talk about with everything that happened in this episode, so let's dive straight into it. The episode opens at the Cerise Lab, once again without any kind of intro at the beginning. Those may just be a thing of the past in Journeys now. Anyways, apparently a mysterious Pokemon has been spotted in the Crown Tundra, and Ashko and Chloe are gonna head over there to investigate. Pretty quick and easy setup for this episode. Meanwhile, already in the Crown Tundra, we see Lillie and her family on a boat, and Lillie is playing the piano. I'm just gonna play a quick clip of what she's playing on the piano. That little tune will end up being very important in this episode, so just remember that. Anyways, we get a quick recap about how Lillie and her family are searching for their father, Mohn. And although I'm sure most of you remember, just a quick recap that Lillie's father was involved in some kind of accident with an ultra wormhole and has been missing ever since Lillie was a child. In order to search for Mohn, Magearna's Soul Heart is sending a beam of light in the direction that Mohn is located. They have narrowed their search to the Crown Tundra, and it looks like they may finally be able to find Mohn. Wow, it must have taken them a really long time to get to the Crown Tundra. No way Ash and friends could get there so fast. Oh wait, they're already there. Unbelievable. Anyways, they're meeting with the mayor of Freezington, the person who reported seeing the mysterious Pokemon. He is trying to describe the Pokemon to them, but keeps questioning himself, saying, or was it, after every detail. He eventually settles on telling them that it was white and yellow, and that's really all he could see since it flew by so fast in the middle of a blizzard. Speaking of which, a blizzard has suddenly started outside, so the mayor lets them stay the night at his place. I don't know, stranger danger would be telling me not to spend the night in some strange old guy's house, but these three kids eagerly accept. We cut back to Lillie and her family, and we see them trudging through the blizzard, but they eventually decide to just camp out and wait for the snowstorm to pass. Then, and I thought this was pretty funny, Lusamine pulls out something about the size of an iPod Touch, and it blows up into an insulated tent in less than a second. Wow, I could sure use that whenever I go camping. Everyone heads to sleep for the night, and Go says that not only are they gonna find that mysterious Pokemon tomorrow, but he's gonna catch it. We'll see how that goes. The next day, Magearna is once again shining its beam of light, and it ends just over at this lone house, which Lillie runs off towards ahead of Gladion and Lusamine. No one answers her when she yells at the front door, but then she hears that same piano melody that she was playing back at the start of the episode. Before she can investigate further, she is surprised to hear the door open behind her, and who is this guy? Wait a second. He seems very familiar. Yep, it's time for that emotional reunion, and only 7.5 minutes into the episode too. That was quick. Lillie is overcome with emotion as she runs into her father's arms. Mohn is taken aback, and then Lillie remembers that, oh yeah, you probably only remember me as a baby. This is when Gladion and Lusamine catch up to them, and Zoroark quickly starts cuddling with Mohn. Remember that Gladion Zoroark was actually Mohn's Pokemon back before the accident. Mohn doesn't recognize Zoroark, and he doesn't know why Gladion is calling him father either, and it's finally starting to sink in. Mohn has lost his memory about his family. Lusamine is so shocked by this that she literally faints, but thankfully she recovers after a moment. She explains to Mohn who they are searching for, and he is pretty confused, but he does offer to serve them some food and tea inside his house, which they accept. Inside, it's super dark because all the windows haven't blacked out. The same piano melody starts up again in the distance, and Mohn says he would like to introduce them to his daughter. Lusamine is like, what? And was I the only one in this moment to be like, oh my god, Mohn cheated on Lusamine? I wonder if Lusamine was thinking the same thing. Anyways, Mohn tells them that his daughter is also named Lillie, and they're like, okay, and they head over to the room that she's in. Inside, whoa, wait a second, what is going on here? So it looks like Lillie is playing the piano, but wait, it's actually a Nihilego. Oh my god, what is happening right now? Oh yeah, it's worth pointing out that this is a shiny Nihilego, which is really only important because the yellow shiny design bears a much closer resemblance to Lillie. Lusamine and the others are shocked. They have had plenty of family trauma caused by Nihilego in the past. In fact, Gladion tries to attack it with Zoroark, but Nihilego just kind of floats away and disappears. Mohn thinks nothing of this and goes back to make them some more tea, but the others stay behind and talk. Lusamine says that they can't just attack Nihilego if Mohn actually thinks it's his daughter, and Lillie and Gladion decide to look around for some clues to figure out what is going on here, while Lusamine says she'll go talk to Mohn. It's time to check back in with Ash and the others, and when Go asks if they're near their destination at all, Ash just hits him with the same line that the mayor of Freezington was saying last night. Pikachu stops in the middle of their search because it smells something, and he's pretty happy and excited about whatever he's smelling, and since Grookey and Eevee aren't picking up on the scent, my best guess is that Pikachu is probably smelling Lillie and or Snowy. Everyone starts to run off in the same direction as Pikachu, and we see they're heading towards Mohn's house. To keep the tension on either side of the commercial, they just fade to black with the series logo popping up in the corner. No eye catch this time. On the other side of the commercial, Lillie is looking around the piano room, and after playing that same melody as before, Nihilego shows up behind her and starts watching Lillie. She opens the window to get some light into the room, and the sunlight shines on this dresser in the corner. Meanwhile, all Gladion is finding in his search is that all of the mirrors in this place have been removed. That's strange. Lillie still hasn't realized that Nihilego is kind of stalking her, but she has found something in the bottom drawer of the dresser. It turns out to be Mohn's old Aether Foundation clothes as well as a mirror, and from looking in the mirror, Lillie is able to see, oh no, Nihilego is about to attack her. Alright, that scene was so awesome that I just had to play it. So after Pikachu's attempted Iron Tail causes Nihilego to flee, Ash checks in on Lillie, and so does Gladion, who's shocked to see Ash again. Ash explains how they got there as Go and Chloe enter through the window as well. Go recognizes the name Lillie, remembering back to episode 37 of Journeys when he found out that Ash's classmate was off searching for her father. That's basically all of the input we got from Go or Chloe in the rest of this episode. Back in the main room, Lusamine is talking to Mohn again. She tries to get him to remember who he is by showing him a family portrait, but Mohn isn't connecting the dots. I mean, has this guy even seen his own reflection? How does he not see the resemblance? Oh, wait a second. And just as Lusamine tries to explain how Mohn's quote-unquote daughter is actually an Ultra Beast, Nihilego appears, ready to strike. Thankfully, Gladion is there to save his mother, while Zoroark jumps on Nihilego. Lillie enters the room and... thanks, Nihilego? Everyone is kind of stunned, and then Ash and friends walk in with the mirror and Mohn's old clothes. Everyone sits down, and Lillie and her family explain to Mohn how Nihilego saved him from an accident with an Ultra Wormhole, and now they were living here as father and daughter. We then get a flashback from Nihilego's perspective, and we relive the moment it saw Mohn fall into Ultra Space through an Ultra Wormhole. When Nihilego saved Mohn and made contact with him, Mohn's memories came flooding into Nihilego, mainly about his family and how he accidentally got sucked into the Ultra Wormhole. In that moment, all Mohn could say was his daughter's name, and Nihilego acted quickly to try and pull him back through another Ultra Wormhole. Nihilego succeeded, but ended up pulling Mohn back into his world, but in the Crown Tundra, not Alola. And after pulling Mohn into this abandoned house, Nihilego used its powers to make Mohn believe that Nihilego was Lillie. Back in real time, Gladion explains to Mohn that Nihilego feared what would happen if Mohn got its memories back, and so it removed all the mirrors and made the windows dirty so that Mohn couldn't see his own reflection, so that he could just live happily with Nihilego thinking that it was his real daughter. Lillie starts talking now, explaining how she realized that Nihilego just wanted to protect Mohn and that it was obvious how much it cared for Mohn. Then, Gladion presents the mirror to Mohn, and he finally gets to see his own reflection. We get to visually see all of Mohn's memories flooding back to him. This was a cool scene, and after Mohn finally puts everything together, the family is finally reunited, and they all share a big group hug. Seeing this, Nihilego tries to leave, but Lillie stops it and wants it to stay. Mohn agrees, saying that it's responsible for reuniting him with his family, and we even get to see Nihilego turn back into its Lillie appearance. What a weird image this is. Anyways, Gladion holds out a Beast Ball, and the rest of the family join in, as Nihilego accepts their offer and goes into the Beast Ball. I guess for now this technically goes down as Gladion's catch, which means his current team has got to be one of the most unique lineups in the history of the anime. Wow. And with that, the episode comes to a close, as finally, after all this time, Lillie's family is finally together again. I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10 rating. Okay, actually, I'm not. I know a lot of people love this episode, like absolutely love it. I don't. Let me explain. First off, let me be clear in saying that I do not dislike this episode, not by any means. In fact, let me just give you my actual rating right now. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10 rating. Now, alright, that's gonna seem pretty low for a lot of people. I haven't watched any other people's reviews yet, so I don't know what other content creators are feeling about this episode, but I do know that the general consensus, at least from what I have seen and what I've been told, is that most people absolutely adored this episode. And if you love this episode, great, please, by all means, don't let my cold, heartless, critical review of this episode bring down your enjoyment. I can totally see why so many people love this episode, I just can't say the same for myself. First of all, how in the world did it take this long for Lillie's family to find Mohn in the Crown Tundra, while Ashko and Chloe just randomly caught a flight there one day and were right there too? I don't really mind the coincidental nature of Ash being there for this reunion. This is the Pokemon anime after all. Weird coincidences like that happen all the time involving Ash. But seriously, how did Lillie's family only find Mohn now? Doing a little deep dive on the flashbacks we saw, it looked like Nihiligo basically pulled Mohn out of the Ultra Wormhole the minute that he fell in. So has Mohn been in the Crown Tundra for this entire time? Well, the only counter argument I can think of to that point is that traveling through Ultra Space takes a lot of time. It's not as simple as going through one side of an Ultra Wormhole and bang, you're on the other side instantly. Maybe Mohn was falling through Ultra Space for quite some time, and it took them a while to eventually end up in the Crown Tundra with Nihiligo. If that's the case though, then how has Magearna been able to send its beam of light towards Mohn since the end of the Sun and Moon series, and yet it took 111 episodes for them to track Mohn down? This just doesn't add up to me. Moving on from that, my other major complaint has to do with Ashko and Chloe being there at all. And look, I totally understand the point that Ash has been there for so many important moments in Lily's life, and it's only right for him to be there when she finds his father. Okay, fine, I totally get that. However, Go and Chloe were totally irrelevant in this episode. They added nothing to the story, and in all honesty, I just think these three being there at all just took away from Lily's family's story. I think both of my major complaints about this episode probably knocked my rating down for this episode a point each, because otherwise I thought this totally had the makings of a 9 out of 10 episode or even higher. The moment where Pikachu saved Lilie was really awesome, even though it could have just as easily been Gladion and one of his Pokemon, but anyways, I thought the story of Mohn losing his memory only to gain them back was really well done, especially considering this took place in the space of just one episode. The episode taking place in the Crown Tundra was cool and actually makes a lot of sense since Ultra Wormholes started shockingly appearing in the Crown Tundra in the game, so it totally makes sense for that to happen in the anime too. Narratively, I thought they brought the storyline of Lily's family searching for Mohn to a close beautifully. I just wish this would have been a special episode that took place after the Sun and Moon series. I thought this was pretty out of place in Journeys, especially at this point in the series. Now, with that said, I do actually give the show credit for linking episodes together, because now the next episode is going to directly follow this one, with everyone going back to Alola. This includes Lilie, her family, and Ashko and Chloe. Outside of being an incredibly wholesome reunion episode, the focus is going to be on a battle royal. Sounds cool, I guess? I don't know. This doesn't get me too hyped. What does get me excited though is that Ash is returning to Alola, and if you take a quick peek at my 2 highest viewed videos of all time, yeah, I am really glad that Ash is returning to Alola again. So those are all of my thoughts this week. I stand by all of my opinions, even if a lot of you probably think I am underrating this episode. That's totally fine. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.